Thank you all. I would like to call to order the regular city council meeting of June 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Councilman Werner.
Here.
Councilman Gleason.
Present.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Present.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Present.
Mayor O'Connor.
Presence. If you are able, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Absolutely. 1000%, please. Let's do it.
You mean we met that?
No, absolutely not. Oh, my. Maybe on that back table? I think that might be the only place.
What is it?
Pizza.
Third bank.
Why not? Is there anybody else? Is there anybody else out there? We have already called the meeting.
Less than $100. Slice of pizza.
It's not for us, it's for them.
Sean.
Okay. Ooh. Additions, deletions, and modifications. Do we have any? And if not, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call. Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment. A public comment card should have been completed and returned to the city clerk. When you are called to speak, please go to the podium and prior to addressing the council, state your name and address for the record. All public comments will be noted and may receive a response if necessary. Any follow-up will be handled. Madam Clerk, do we have any cards?
We have a comment card from Mr. Bobby Farber.
Mr. Farber.
Okay. All right, Bobby Farber, 4829 St. Armand's Way. Hello, everyone.
Nope.
The first thing I want to talk about is the golf cart situation here. Looking into things, I'm hoping maybe we could consider something. We're a multimodal community, right? And that allows us to go on the multimodal paths. We do allow golf carts to go on the main roadways, but looking at what I looked at here, they cannot go east of Ilex. They barely can go on Town Center Parkway, at least according to the map here. They're not allowed on 60th. They're not allowed on Seminole Pratt. And since I've been down here, I think I've maybe seen two of them on the street. We brought our speed limit down to 30 so that they're allowed to do that. I don't know if anybody else here has seen golf carts driving on our roadways, but maybe we should look at this, change the ordinance, not allow that, keep it to the multimodal paths at 15 miles an hour as it's set, and maybe we can raise that speed limit. Anybody who goes home tonight, it's 30 miles an hour. Now we have people doing 26. They don't want tickets. They're doing 28. It's pretty unbearable. And if we did that to allow golf carts on the roadway, I'm asking if we could look into this and maybe change that. So that's what I'd like. I'd like to talk to somebody as to their thoughts at the end of the meeting. And I'll see you on the next round of this.
Do we have any other comments from the public?
I have no additional comment cards, Mayor.
We won't do public comment again till the very end of the meeting. Is there anybody who wanted to get up and say something? Ms. Torres, please state your name and address for the record.
Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. Sorry, I was trying to write as fast as I could. I just wondered if there was any headway in procuring a commercial lease for city chambers.
Good question.
The RFP should be out on the street in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Our friends from Fifth Third Bank? Yes, sir?
Good evening, council members. My name is Orlando Echeverria, 5211 Liberty Lane. Good evening. Brought this issue up, especially regarding the in the back of people's homes, especially with the water and the alligators and they coming out, and it's mating season, and I understand and I get it. But I asked for is we could be posting signs for no fishing, something that could give some sort of ammunition with the sheriff's department. So when we do make a complaint, they could give them a fine or they can give them a ticket. It's a matter of time that the kids are back there fishing, they're walking back there, something's going to happen. And we shouldn't wait until something happens. And I just wanted to know, is there anything that could be done in order to start implementing that
It's a citizen.
before somebody gets hurt?
Unfortunately, the city does not have jurisdiction over the lakes at all. It's the Seminole Improvement District who owns and operates those lakes. They're their own government.
But I know that, and I remember we said that, but it's just a matter of time. And I don't think we should wait. I mean, something could be done.
It's not our property. It's not the city's property.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
This would be raised at a Seminole Improvement District meeting. Absolutely.
No problem. Thank you.
Sure. Please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Council members, residents, Mr. Mayor.
sir.
I'm happy to be here. My name is Carl Morgan. I'm your new financial center manager at the Fifth Third Bank in Westlake. I have with me today my peer and manager, Lisa Wilton, our regional manager, Justin Miller.
Okay.
We're really happy to be here and to be a part of your community. We see all the great things happening here, and we want to make sure we're here to build partnerships with the community and with the leadership. We are seeing the community thrive, and we are here to help with financial wellness and anything that we can be a part of. So we thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of the conversation.
Thank you for investing in the city, and we are very much looking forward to your presence here.
Good deal. And we do have offers. If I'm allowed to get into them, I'm just kidding.
There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Any other comments from the public before we continue with the meeting? Okay. We have a proclamation. And I'm sorry, we have a presentation by the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Ms. Levesque.
Oh, you had it right the first time.
It's spelled wrong on my paper then.
No, it's
Is there
not.
an S there?
It's spelled right.
It's pronounced Levesque.
It's pronounced
All right.
right.
I love it.
So, hello, thank you for having me. My name is Gina Levesque, and I serve as the Intake and Compliance Manager for the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Today, I'd like to share a little about who we are, what we do, and how we can be a resource for you. The Commission on Ethics was established in 2010 following the 2009 grand jury recommendation for ethics reform in Palm Beach County. Our mission is simple but crucial: to promote integrity in public service, build public trust, and ensure that private interests do not interfere with public duties. What sets our commission apart is its independence. We operate separately from other county or municipal governments, and our 5 volunteer members are appointed by independent organizations. This structure ensures fair and impartial oversight. We provide oversight, accountability, and transparency for more than 12,000 public officials, employees, and advisory board members, as well as certain vendors and lobbyists throughout Palm Beach County. The Code of Ethics applies not only to county government, but also to all 39 municipalities, ensuring that public officials and employees act with integrity, independence, and impartiality. and that a public office is never used for personal gain. But our role is not just about enforcement. It's about prevention. We place a strong emphasis on education because we believe the best way to prevent ethical violations is to ensure that people understand the rules before they make decisions. That's why we provide ongoing training and advisory opinions to help officials and employees navigate ethical concerns before they become an issue. In fact, we've issued nearly 560 advisory opinions to date. While we do have authority to impose penalties such as reprimands and fines up to $500 per violation, our primary goal is to educate, guide, and prevent violations before they occur. We also ensure transparency by making all advisory opinions, gift forms, voting conflict forms, and complaints publicly available on our website. At the Commission on Ethics, we encourage everyone to remember one simple phrase: ask first, act later. If you ever have a question regarding the application of the Code of Ethics, please reach out to us before making a decision or taking an action. You can find resources, request training, or contact us by visiting our website at palmbeachcountyethics.com or by calling 561-355-1915. Thank you for your time, and most importantly, thank you for your commitment to ethical governance. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and I've also left a business card with each of you.
Not a question, but just for fun, can we talk about how the city of Westlake was not actually bound by the Commission on Ethics, and we opted in to your oversight?
Yes, you did, and you were the
My colleagues may not be aware of that. Maybe explain it, give them the.
So when the Commission on Ethics was first enacted years ago, before it became countywide through all the municipalities, it was just a county ordinance for county employees and elected officials. And initially, several other municipalities opted in, like you did, through a MOU. And then it was put to the voters of each one of the municipalities, and the voters voted for every municipality across the board to come under our jurisdiction as an ordinance rather than by a contract. However, the city of Westlake was not in,
We didn't exist yet,
did not exist yet.
basically.
And so when the city of Westlake became a city, if you will, we had no authority over you because we have what's the word I'm looking for? We are a agency that has oversight that can issue fines and penalties. And we have a statute of limitations of 2 years. So you all had to come under us by a contract rather than by ordinance. And unless it's put to the voters of the city of Westlake and the voters vote to have you under our jurisdiction by ordinance, then you will have to re-sign the contract every 5 years, however long we've established that contract. Unlike the Inspector General's office, you automatically became under their jurisdiction because they do not have judicial oversight over you.
Thank you, Ms. Levesque. Any questions, Council?
Yes.
No. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Consent agenda. This section of the agenda consists of routine or administrative items that require final approval by the city council and may be approved in its entirety by a single motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless a council member requests such, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered on a future agenda. I have a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Gleason, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call, Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have before us the first reading of ordinance 2025-04, chapter 119, zoning text amendment, AC screening. City attorney, please read by title.
Ordinance to City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, amending Chapter 119 of the City of Westlake, Florida Code of Ordinances entitled Zoning by specifically amending Section 11931C7 entitled Setback Exceptions for Residential R1 and Residential R2 districts under Article 2 entitled Zoning Districts and Standards to provide for clarification relative to screening exceptions for single-family residential lots, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and effective date.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, Osneil Leon, planner for the City of Westlake. Before you use ordinance 2025-04. Let's pull up the,
I'm to go get a sense.
Again, this ordinance initiated by staff amends the section 119-31. We're adding a provision regarding the screening of AC. We're adding following language: single-family residential lots with a setback of less than 7.5 feet should only be required to provide visual screening from the right-of-way. This is a visual what we're talking about. And prior question, the shrubs at time of installation need to be 18 inches in height. Again, the shrubs only will be required to be provided from screened right-of-way for lots that have 7.5 or less of setback. Again, the Land Planning Agency recommended approval of these ordinances. The staff recommends approval of the zoning text amendment. Thank you.
Do we have any public comments?
May I receive no public comment cards, Mayor?
On this agenda item? No. You have to come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Alfie Aiken, 5416 Liberty Lane. Just a question on the 18 inches, if it was a minimum or maximum, that's all.
The 18 inches is a planting, that's minimum.
Thank you. Do you have any other public comments? Okay, so I mean, just for the purpose of a synopsis, we just went through this at the LPA meeting for the very narrow lots. Screening the entire AC unit has started to cause some drainage issues. So the LPA board, which is us, decided that just screening it from the street view on the very narrow lots would be sufficient. And if there's no more public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing and open it up for council discussion. Anything from the council? No? If there's no further comments, may I have a motion?
Move that we adopt ordinance number 2025-04, chapter 119, zoning text amendment for AC screening.
Second.
We have
We have a motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have before us the first reading of ordinance 2025-05, chapter 113, zoning text amendment, permitted temporary signs. City Attorney, read by title.
Ordinance to the City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, amending Chapter 113 of the City of Westlake, Florida Code of Ordinances entitled Signs by specifically amending Section 11366, Table 11366, entitled Permitted Temporary Signs under Article 3 entitled Temporary Signs, providing for additional installation or removal dates for non-residential sale, rental, or lease of building or portion of building, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and effective date.
Thank you, Counselor. We have a presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For the record, Osneil Leon, planner for the City of Westlake. Before you is first reading of ordinance 2025-05. The Land Planning Agency did recommend approval of the proposed change with proposed amendment. Again, we are amending section 113-66 regarding non-residential sale, rental, or lease of building or portion of building type of signage for businesses. The earliest installation date used to the prior language is upon issuance of certificate of occupancy. We are amending that to the earliest installation date to be a building permit. And for the final removal date, we're keeping the language until 100% of the building is sold, rented, or leased within 10 days of the sale, rental, or lease of the building or portion of building. These are the type of signs that we are, for visual purposes, we're talking about. And the staff does recommend approval of first reading. Thank you.
We have any public comments?
I have no public comment cards, Mayor.
Again, just some cliff notes for the public. The main change here is now, if this gets approved, now we're going to allow them to put a sign out that says, space for lease as soon as a building permit. So as they're building their plaza or whatever it is, they can start to try to fill it versus waiting for the CO and the building to be done and then they try and fill it. We have any council discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll move approval of proposed ordinance to 2025-05 as amended, as proposed and amended.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call. Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. We have before us Resolution 2025-13, a resolution for the approval of the Silver Lake Plat 1. City Attorney, please swear in any witnesses that wish to provide testimony. Let's also disclose any ex parte communication, if any. I have none.
I have not.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. City Attorney, read by title.
Resolution to City Council for the City of Westlake, Florida, approving the plat of Silver Lake, Plat 1 being a part of North 1/2, Section 7 and 8, Township 43 South, Range 41 East, and replat of a portion of Track OST number 3, Persimmon Boulevard East, Plat 5, as recorded in Plat Book 135-179, Public Records of Palm Beach County, Florida, lying in the City of Westlake, Palm Beach County, Florida, providing for recordation, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
So we have a presentation by the presence of Mr. Herring here.
We do. Council members, for the record, Donaldson Hearing, here tonight on behalf of Palm Beach West Associates 6, LLP, and GL Homes. So that entity is a subsidiary of GL Homes. Most of you are probably very familiar with GL Homes. If you're from Palm Beach County, they're one of the premier builders like Minto, and have a long-standing relationship with Minto, as they both are just excellent quality builders here in the state of Florida and in Palm Beach County. So we're here tonight to present the plat, which is before you. Your staff has determined the plat to be technically compliant. So that's really what we're here to review. But I know the mayor in particular is always interested in understanding a little bit more information about the project. So I'm going to share a little information that has nothing to do with the technicality of the plat, but for the benefit of this council, because I know how much interest that all of you have in how your community grows and the new assets that are coming to the community. So I'll share that with you if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, please.
So let me, how do I get my pointer to, I need to turn this on? It's on. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm going the other wrong way. That's why. So the plat's 119 acres, and we'll have within the totality of the community 448 single-family homes. The first phase is 294, which is the plat that's before you today. And there'll be a second phase. We're working on that plat now, which will be submitted shortly for an additional 154 homes on the property. Most of you are probably aware of what we referred to as Silver Lake. It was one of the few parcels within the city of Westlake that was not owned by Minto. However, it was incorporated within the boundaries of Seminole Improvement District, such as Seminole Ridge High School and the other schools that we have within the site. And so, as well as the packing plant was also an out parcel. So it was a long linear piece that was located along the southern boundary, located adjacent to Loxahatchee Groves. It did have land use and zoning was assigned to it. But it was kind of an odd site, oddly shaped site, and it was really difficult to access. So based on this longstanding relationship between Minto and GL acquired the property, and the two groups worked together really to reconfigure the site so it was more consistent with the neighborhoods and the communities that we have within Westlake, which is a really good benefit that has occurred as a result of that decision that they made to do. So the site location is on the screen. It's located immediately to the east of what we call the estates, south of Persimmon and south of the orchards or parcel S. And to the immediate east, there's just a future development area on the site. There will be water located around three sides of the property. To the west is an existing lake. To the south, there is a proposed water management area and lake area that provides connectivity of water that we worked out with Seminole Improvement District. And then there'll be another lake that will be located on the east side of the site, really comparable or matching that which is on the west side of the site. So on the screen right now is the phase one development area. So you can see the site. The area that's in green to the south is the phase two development area. It is included within the plat. It's just not lotted out into individual lots at this particular time. So phase one will include 294 single family homes. It has an access off of Persimmon. There's an existing median opening at that location. We will be adding a right turn lane into the site. So that right turn lane will be a portion of that is replatted area of property, which is owned by Seminole Improvement District to ensure that there's access all the way to the right of way. The basic design is very much in line with the theme and the various communities that we've done here in Westlake. There's a main entrance. There will be a guarded entrance. I'll show you what that will look like, a gated entrance. And it will terminate at a little community amenity site, which will be a nice focal point. Lots of green space on either side of the site. The overall community provides a nice diversity of lot types. Those that are on lakes or waterfronts, and then those we have a limited number of what we call back-to-back lots that provide additional diversity and housing pricing, which really works out well for our buyers. There is a single main entry that comes in, but we do have a secondary emergency access all the way on the extreme northeastern end of the site, something that we worked out with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue just for emergency access only. That's all that would be. And then in its full development, this is the phase one and phase two put together. So you can see how the overall community comes in. The phase two plat, we're getting ready to submit that real soon. However, you're not voting on that tonight. You're just voting on the phase one plat. I'm just trying to provide you with a good overview of the community and what's to come. We have two different lot sizes in this community. It'll be the same product on both lots. What it does, we have a 50-foot lot series and a 48-foot lot series. Just gives property owners the ability, if they want a little bit more green space on one side, that they have the ability to purchase a larger lot. So that's distributed throughout the site. We will have a model center. Model center will be located just to the west of the main entrance on the first little street there. And so if you look really closely, you can probably see where we have the M designated on those lots, and those will be model lots that will come in. And I will tell you that GL has already submitted their land development permits. They're very anxious to move forward. They're excited about being here. And so I think that you'll see something really fun for the community. This will have a guardhouse and gates. So similar to the Crestwind community where there's a guardhouse, this has a guardhouse. Whether it will be manned or it will be virtual, that will be something that will be decided over time. But very, very nice. I'll show you a picture of what that will look like. Very, very nicely done. Transitional, I call it contemporary. It's not modern, but transitional, very, very nicely done. Stone columns, stucco, clean lines, very, very crisp overall design. And then also at the entrance, as we have within all of the communities, because this is a family area and a family community, we do have bus shelters. So we have a nice little bus shelter at the front. And you notice we even have some parallel parking spaces there for moms and dads to be able to wait if they wanted to pick up their kids or wait for their bus to arrive for those younger ones. Also, you'll note, and it's important to the mayor because I know he asked me the question, we have a multimodal path that extends from Persimmon all the way into the site. We do that with each of the communities. And of course, we've worked very diligently to create the multimodal path leading up to the elementary school and middle school. And so, of course, throughout all of the communities that are here. So very, very important component that's in keeping with the community that's being provided here. This is the little bus shelter. So again, it ties in with the guardhouse. If you recall, the guardhouse picture has some light fixtures on it, nice stone. So everything's being tied together architecturally. If you know much about GL, very much like Minto, they pay attention to all the details in what they do. Very, very thoughtful in their overall design. Here's just a couple of images of I've got two images of the homes. This is just two. This is a typical two-story home in two different styles that would be built. So a little different than what we have with Minto, with a very coastal flavor. This is a little bit more transitional, not modern, but very, very nicely done. And then here's a one-story home. Again, very, very clean, simple, be very nice addition to the overall community. GL, as you know, does an amazing job with their landscaping and their entranceways. I'm sure that this council is very familiar with many of the communities that they've done, the Valencias, and just, very, very nice. So they're very inspired. A developer, it's very much so like Minto. They're kind of cut out of the very same cloth, and that's why that they're able to collaborate with Minto that's here. We will have a mail kiosk, for pickup of mail. We will be bringing back before you, it's not a part of what you're seeing tonight, is an amenity center. We do anticipate having an amenity center with a limited amount of pickleball and a small 3,000 square foot amenity center. We're working with staff on that, so we might be reaching out to you individually to review that. So that'll be something that's forthcoming. And so while Westlake has a very, very robust set of amenities, we're adding a few additional that would be internal to this site that we have. This is just a couple images. This is an elevation of the clubhouse building and a couple of just images of what we're thinking about in terms of just an added amenity within the overall community. We also have some entrance signs in the code. We refer to those as pod entry monument signs. And so when the sign code was written, it really had the standard pod entry monument sign that Minto had developed. And then when we brought forth the Crestwind project, we developed and added into the code a alternative pod entry monument sign. And so the way the code has been currently amended, any different signs that are different than those specific ones that are in the code are basically approved through the master sign program. So this will be coming back to you at your July 1st meeting. But I did have an image that we will share you. You're not voting on this tonight. So we use the Minto, a vertical monument podium, which is in the teal green, but we add in some additional architectural elements, and we're going to incorporate some water into the entrance. So you'll see this in more detail. That is a fountain. Yeah, this is, as you know, GL does just an amazing job with what they're doing. And so, these are the types of things that we think add value, create a little bit of diversity within the overall community. So this is something that you'll see, and we'll talk about this on July 1st. But now into really what we're here to talk about is the plat. We are here on the first plat this evening. Your staff has reviewed this. It's been reviewed and approved by Seminole Improvement District, found to be compliant with Chapter 177 of Florida statutes. And so we would request your approval. I know that this is what we're voting on, but if you had a specific question, I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions that you might have about the GL project.
Will the homes, the products that they're offering, are they unique to Westlake, or are they the same as an Arden or someplace else?
I think that they're unique to Westlake. Do you?
Yeah, I think we generally leave the models.
Yeah. My understanding that these are, while there might be a similar floor plan, that these are really tweaks specific to Westlake.
Vary on the, say, the higher end, almost like our estates, or?
Well, the estates lots are 75-foot wide lots. So we are still in the 50-foot lots.
Okay.
And so I would think that they're going to be, priced, consistent with the overall
So
community.
the largest lot is 50.
The largest lot is 50 feet. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah.
Sure, please.
Thank you, Mr. Herring, for the presentation and looking forward to the project. One question is whether, you did mention the Westlake HOA amenities. I presume that means you're committed to an HOA payment to the Westlake HOA as well as to the GL HOA.
Yeah. My understanding, and I don't know if Ms. Dewey or Catherine might know the answer. My understanding is that whether they have an amenity of their own or not, they have to pay the same fees as everybody else that's within the community.
This will be strictly an amenity.
This would be, this would simply be an amenity for Silver Lake.
Like Crestwinds is Crestwind.
That's right. But they'd be obligated to pay the same fees to Seminole Improvement District, whether they maintain things on their own, which they do a lot of their own maintenance, they still will pay the exact same fees as every other homeowner within the community.
Can you also share with us the range of size of the homes and the price range, which I know is conceptual, but just to give us an idea?
I do not have all of those details, Counselor, but if you would allow me, when we're before you on July 9th, I'll provide some of that information if that's okay. We'll have a representative from GL that's, that can basically respond to some of those questions.
And were you involved in the negotiations with engineering or is that something done?
I was involved in the planning pieces of it and working with Seminole Improvement District, but in terms of the reconfiguration of the site, that was something that was worked out between Minto and GL, and I wasn't involved at all.
I'll hold off other questions for staff.
Great.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and open public hearing. Do we have any comments from the public on this item?
I have no public comment cards, Mayor.
Ms. Torres, please.
Hi, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle.
Ms. Torres.
Hi. So I just had a few questions. Hopefully you guys could clarify. So the community name is going to be Silver Lakes? Oh, you don't know? Okay. So in that case, if the land called Silver Lakes is made of 2 plats, and I believe the second plat will go to Minto, will this recreation center serve both plats or just the GL homes?
So it's one project, so it's not two projects. There's just one project. We haven't selected, the name may remain Silver Lake, but at this particular point, we haven't, it may end up changing. So, but it's referred to as the Plat of Silver Lake. As far as the amenity will serve the 448 units that are going to be constructed, those 448 homes within this particular community. So it would not be open to others in the same way that, the parks inside each of the individual neighborhoods technically aren't open to everybody, but it's a friendly community.
Okay, and then I just had a comment about the emergency entrance. I've been in the hammocks, for a long, like since 2018, and the gates are broken, not working, the call boxes are not working. And so that's why I understood it was really important to have two fully functional entrances. So when the gates inevitably go down on one side, you can always use the other side. Because there's no automated way to contact someone to let them know that the gate or the call box is fixed. It's kind of this manual text or email or tell someone on Facebook. So I'm just kind of curious about the second emergency entrance and if it is fully entrance and exit, should the gates give out, because of a power outage or whatever reason.
That's fine.
Thanks.
Happy to answer the question, not necessarily relative to the plat, but so Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is really the entity that dictates whether we have more than one entrance. So you'll notice we do have a number of communities such as the Estates, which has a limited number of homes, and the Woodlands, which also has only one entrance. And so that's really the purpose. I mean, typically gates are supposed to have an override on it where you can override it so that you can open them. So we're not concerned about it. So it truly is for fire safety, public safety in the event that, there is a accident at the entrance and somebody couldn't get in. That's really what the purpose of the emergency entrance is. So it's a stabilized area, and we provide Palm Beach County Fire Rescue and the Sheriff's Department with what we refer to as on all of our entrances, not only on the front entrance and the back, with what we call a Knox key switch, which is a manual key switch, and on the electric gates, it's a Knox key switch and what we call click to enter. So they have as they preempt street lights, they just click and it automatically opens up. So that's the way that works.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? State your name and address.
Lance Butcherberry, 5211 Liberty Lane. I just want to ask a question. I don't know how to go with this. Are there any main roads getting out of there since they're almost under 500 homes? Are there main roads already set? It's already done, like going towards Okeechobee on the other side of 116th in case if something happens catastrophic? Everybody, God forbid, have to leave Orchards or whatever it is. We need a sort of a main road to get out, right? Not only depending on Seminole Pratt. So is there a road set in case if something happens? I mean, I was in 9/11 and everything, so I had my tour. So I just want to know, just in case of, God forbid, terrorist act, anything. I don't know, just come up with anything. But how are the homes judging on those type?
We stand here today, the thoroughfare is Seminole Pratt, 60th is planned to go all the way through. And hopefully we should have an additional connection as well. But that's currently tied up in litigation. So 60th is approved and planned. And Seminole Pratt is what we have currently.
I'm just assuming, and I can't stand assuming, but I just want to ask about it.
You speak to
The
the
one in the
microphone?
back of the Pines.
Please speak
In the back of the Pines, on the other side where the Woodlands and the Pines are, where they're planning to put that amusement park. The other pool there, I'm sorry, I don't know if the amusement park, how we even word it. My referring is to right back in the Persimmon, where that circle is, right? There's a road there and it's cut off. And you can see that Mentos has there, and then GL is going to be right on the other side. I'm referring to that main road. Is there anything set in stone? Anything at all?
Our only thoroughfare, our only
You know what I mean?
roads right
Do we
now,
have
Central
anything?
Pratt, 60th is approved.
Okay,
And again, there's another connection to 140th that is currently tied up in litigation that we are not able to connect to.
okay. So right now, nobody knows. It's
No,
just,
no, right now we can't connect.
It's
to
in the
it.
courts.
It's a separate.
It's in the
improvement thing.
courts
It's in the
right
court
now.
System.
oh, okay. So we're going through litigations, whatever.
Correct.
Protocol. I get it. Thank you.
Sure. Do you have any other comments from the public? Okay, let's close the public hearing. Do we have any comments from council?
Questions of staff.
Sure.
I too am concerned about 448 homes with a single entry access. And I see that there is a secondary emergency access. The drawing here doesn't really explain how the surface of that access will be prepared. And I'm curious as to why, when you have a second access to the Persimmon East, where you put your secondary access, why wouldn't you have made it a secondary public access for the community, private access, but for the community? And if staff would address that issue, and how is it that the fire department agreed to that configuration? Was there a variance? Was it standard or what?
For the record, Neil Leon, planner for the city of Westlake. This is a requirement by code, and it's like Mr. Don Hearns mentioned, is required by the fire. So they're the ones that review. They're part of the review process, and they, the amount of access provided apparently meets their set of regulations, and they approve the project.
Well, thank you. I heard all that. What I'm asking you as a staff member, I presume you get written comments from the fire department before it gets to this point.
Correct.
And I'm curious what those written comments may have been. Would they have originally approved this configuration, or
Yeah,
did there have to be some back and forth?
That's really, Mr. Warner. Those conversations, those reports back and forth are between the fire department and the applicant. We're not part of that. We're not privy to that information. It gets sent to the fire department. When fire department sends off, they make whatever modifications are necessary. Then they send those plans in to us, and we look at it for the rest of the compliance issues. And if it meets fire and their turnaround requirements on their entrances, their emergency access, whatever the fire requires, I've seen fire require almost a 30-foot wide access point paved into a community versus a stabilized surface. They do different things at different times. Sometimes it's a stabilized, what they call a stabilized surface, which is typically a concrete block, what we call a grass block, which the grass grows over. It's enough for them to drive a fire truck over. It's rated for that. But as you look at it in a normal day-to-day operation, it just looks like a green space.
And to add to that, there were no variances or waivers that were approved or requested for this access.
Is any of that part of the plat application, the entrances to the neighborhood and
Yeah, that's part of the plat
is
that
it
we're
part of the
approving.
plat itself?
The
Yeah,
ingress and
you're
egress
flaving the-
points are.
Okay.
Yes.
So do we know the I understand what the city manager is explaining with the blocks that allow for grass to grow on it, but allow a heavy vehicle to traverse it. But do we know how that's going to be improved at this point?
Not at this point.
I'll respond to that. So the plat's basically a requirement of statute, and we meet the technical requirement. The engineering plans and the site plan are what reflect, which have been, the site plan has been approved by staff. Engineering plans are in review right now. So the intent of what we're proposing is stabilized, so it'll end up being load bearing to handle the weight of a fire truck with, probably either, there's multiple ways that it can be done. I haven't seen the engineering plans or haven't studied them, but, you could put stabilization into the rock, what they call rings, or you could do the grasscrete, and both of those work. But the intent is that it would be green. So, as an applicant, the first thing that we do when we develop a plan is we meet with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, making sure that we're satisfying their requirement. And this does that. And so, it meets all of their requirements. So we have several communities within Westlake that only have one entrance. So, when we first did the terraces, it only had one entrance, but it had an emergency entrance. When we did the crossings, the crossing only has one entrance, but it has an emergency entrance. And so this is really consistent with that. But your engineering department looks at it with great detail. And, our approach is, they want to make sure it's going to meet the requirement, because it also, those engineering plans get reviewed by Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. So they want to make sure it meets the requirements, but we're also concerned is, what does it look like? We want it to be aesthetically pleasing and to blend into the landscaping. And that's the way, we've looked at it. So I hope that answers your question.
I understand that. I appreciate that. The fact that the crossings and some other projects have a higher density and one access doesn't really give me that much comfort, or doesn't explain that it's necessarily an acceptable approach, especially when you have a secondary access on Persimmon that could be made. I mean, the question I would have if I were to buy there is, do I have an emergency way out in the case of some catastrophic accident, or where the front entry is blocked off?
And the answer is, if there was a catastrophic event, yes, that access way could be opened up and people could use it.
So residents would be able to use that in an emergency?
In an emergency, it would be used, not just for a matter of inconvenience. But if there was an emergency, that access way could handle a car, and your emergency personnel, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, they're all aware of it. All these things are designated appropriately on all of their safety maps, and they would set it up so vehicles could use it, sir.
Thank you. Then the question for the city manager is, Persimmon is a one-lane road from Ilex East, and it's designated for future widening with two lanes. And I asked the city manager earlier, and I'll ask him again, at what point would a project be required to improve Persimmon from one lane to two lanes? And if you would, perhaps for the record, just explain what you were explaining to me earlier.
And, every project that comes in with a traffic study on the density and intensity, and it goes against the entire traffic study that was originally done for the roads. Sooner or later, somebody is going to trigger the fact that that extra lane has to be paved. At this point in time, this development does not trigger that. I don't know if the next one will trigger it or exactly when, but all the roads are already designed for the density, intensity, and maximum use based upon the original 45, 46 plans.
Do we know to what percentage the current volume is in relation to what that threshold point is?
I do not have that, but the engineering department, along with the traffic individual, does a report every time and verifies what the traffic counts are.
Can they get us a report back on that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
That's it.
Any other questions? Council?
No.
If there's no further questions, may I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve Plat of Silver Lake, Plat 1, Resolution 2025-13.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We have before us Resolution 2025-14, Education Advisory Board Consideration Appointment of one alternate member. City Attorney, read by title.
Resolution to City Council of the City of Westlake, Florida, appointing one alternate member to serve on the Education Advisory Board, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Madam Clerk, can you provide an update on this item?
Per the city ordinance, the Education Advisory Board shall consist of 5 regular members and 1 alternate member. There currently remains 1 vacant position on the board for 1 alternate board member seat. And we have before you the application of Dr. Christopher Tompkins Sr. for consideration.
Let's open it up for council discussion.
Okay. I'll just start off. I met Dr. Tompkins last meeting. He's actually present here tonight. And he's got a great resume. And I'd love to have him on the board working with me.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe you want to make a presentation.
Did you want
Did you want to say a few words? Colonel, right?
Yeah, he's also the colonel.
Colonel.
I guess just for the attendees, since they can't get a chance to view my resume, I'm originally from Washington, D.C., went to North Carolina A&T, spent 30 years in the military as a military police officer, lieutenant colonel, provost marshal. Since then, I've gotten out, been in the field of JROTC at our high schools in Tampa and St. Pete, and then I've come over to this side of the house, and I've continued in JROTC, and I've been in ROTC. I've taught at the University of South Florida. I've taught at the Florida Atlantic University, mainly leadership, education, those kind of things like that for our youth, trying to tie them in from high school to college and link the dots for them. And most of the kids lose that linking the dots, so I try to do that. Military is an option for a lot, but there's a lot of other options out there also with college. Military will give you monies and pay, those kind of, they'll give you job security. So I'm happy to be here. I'm new to the community. I've been here for about 3 or 4 months. With Bobby right here, we're trying to stay hard, fast, and understanding the way forward, what's going, our future. So we all want to get involved and try to get where the heat is and where we're needed to help out this community. That's all. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you for your service and your willingness to continue to serve. Thank you so much.
It's what we do.
Love it. Well, I need a motion.
I make a motion to appoint Dr. Christopher Tompkins as an alternate board member to the Education Advisory Board.
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call, Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Absolutely, yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Jumping to council comments, Councilwoman Leonard.
All right, so the only comment I have this evening, I think we had someone bring an issue to us that should go to SID, so I just looked that up. The SID board meeting, it was yesterday. The next one is July 7th, 2025. So hopefully the signs around the lake, you can attend that board meeting and bring that issue to them. And outside of that, happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the house.
Thank you. Councilman Gleason.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. I had the opportunity of attending your installation at the League of Cities of Palm Beach County. So congratulations, sir. It was a very nice event. We should be honored here in Westlake. We have someone on the national board, now someone on the Palm Beach board. So we're pretty lucky to have that. And Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for my traffic sticks. Appreciate that, sir. I hope that cuts down some of the captain's employees and the deputies' work over there on Water Edge and Seminole, so that way you guys don't have to get too tied down with those traffic accidents. So thank you. And happy Father's Day to the rest.
Thank you. Councilman Werner.
No additional comments. Happy Father's Day to all.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
Happy Father's Day as well. Want to mention the Education Advisory Board meets next Thursday evening, and then this coming Saturday from 10 to 12 at the lodge right here at the back entrance. I'll be meeting with the residents for the Let's Chat Westlake. For anybody who's got questions, concerns, comments, and that's it.
All right, I've just got a couple things. In the recent weeks, in terms of public safety and crime and police activity, it's been, let's say, active. Mr. City Manager, I can't recall exactly when, but we discussed bringing on an additional deputy. We discussed bringing him in early. What is the status of that? Are we hiring another deputy? Are we expanding our police force? And when will that start?
I've been in discussions with Captain Stant already, also with other individuals of his staff on timing and also getting the cost factors of what it will be and the impact on the budget.
So like next week or?
No, they can't, they can't stand it up that fast, but in the next 60, 90, 120 days, we should have
Well, let's
somebody
make it a
on.
priority.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, public safety is paramount above everything else. Aside from Happy Father's Day, we're in June, which means that July is next month. We have a big July 4th. It'll be what, our fourth fest?
Fourth one.
Fourth fest on July 4th. And nobody does 4th of July quite like Westlake. I will move forward with staff reports. Do you want to start with PBSO?
Yes.
All right.
Folks, I think I'm starting to spoil it.
Captivate us.
Get things done so quickly, I'm getting more excited. But I really do. You know, listen, it's easy when you have a group of men and women that are working with you, cooperative, right? Getting things done, understand and recognize. So thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Manager, for taking such an active role in, we're almost there. I don't want to jinx us, but getting those cameras installed. All right. So I'm going to be hopefully optimistic, but I think we're going to do it. I'm very confident we're going to do it. So it's going to work out fantastic. The LPR equipped, the cameras, and it's going to be a real good thing for us. So I'm going to try to make it as brief as I can because I know everybody's, eager to get out and get home and get some dinner, including myself. I did bring a special guest with me tonight, Sergeant Peskowitz, and he's going to close for me, and he's going to give you a real-time update on the initiative that you all asked me for, right? We had it done. I won't steal his thunder because he's got some good results for you. We went easy this time, but I think you guys are going to be impressed, but we're going to need to do some more work. So traffic, we're doing really well. I have to admit, we're doing okay. We need to really pay attention to Seminole Pratt with all the growth and the construction and all the development that I heard tonight. And as we discussed, this is going to continue to increase. The traffic is going to continue to increase. So please make it a reoccurring theme of getting it out to the community as I do and what my staff does. Every opportunity we get to conduct a traffic stop, just so you all know, is an opportunity to educate the community. Okay? It's not, we have you sign here, the economy's rough, life gets heavy sometimes. Trust me when I say every stop is being deployed with the utmost amount of discretion. Okay? So know that. That's what my deputies do. That's what you expect from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and that's what we will deliver. Okay? Over 200 stops this month alone. We jumped over about 260 calls for service. And it doesn't really give me the citations, but I take that back, 246 traffic stops ended with 84 citations and 162 written warnings. That's that discretion part that I just mentioned. Okay, so understand that. Other than that, I think we're going to do okay. I really do appreciate the fact that you guys bring it up to bring on some additional staff. In fact, the city manager and I are in discussions, and I think we're going to do that just fine. I really do. All right. So if not, please let me introduce you to Sergeant Peskowitz. Is there any questions you have for me before I go? I'll wait until it's done. Anything I can do for you? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day, gentlemen. All right.
Thank you.
And to everybody here too.
Sergeant, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me. Sergeant Ira Peskowitz. My address is obviously redacted, but you can do 3228 Anyways, I just want to let you know, Captain Sant, I've known Captain Sant for a very long time. If it bothers you, it bothers him. He left this meeting. He addressed me immediately to take action into this issue that we're having with the stop sign. We came up with a plan, got some good stats here to let you know. And again, the discretion aspect of it. And I could answer any of those questions that you want about how we choose discretion, because I know a lot of people think a lot of different things, but we're not television. So the real life stuff comes out from us. Real quick. So starting May 3rd, that's when you had your meeting, and I got a phone call and an email from Captain Sant right away to effectively address the concerns over at Crestwinds and Town Center Parkway. Out of those few hundred that he said, 84 traffic stops were made on that intersection. I think 84 is a lot within a 30-day period. We did 50 written, 24 verbal, 12 citations, and they made one misdemeanor traffic arrest. That could have been for someone who might have something to do with traffic related stuff, not with a traffic offense that occurred on that. It could be a suspended license or driving without whatever. There could be so many different things. I did reach out to our community, our COP officers. I know there's some that live in Crestwind. I know that Mr. Davis, who's the division manager of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, is looking into getting COP involved here in Westlake, because we have it in Royal Palm and in Wellington in the area. So we're trying to get COP officers, which are civilians. They're out and about. They're in marked units. They wear a uniform.
Cars that live here.
We have two
cars
cars.
that fit.
Right.
And we have quite a lot, we have about 20 members of the community that are already serving.
Right, to do that, but it has to be, the sheriff's office has to approve the location, obviously get with, Captain Sant, our chain of command, and with Mr. Castle, the city manager, to come up with the plan. They can't just deploy them wherever people think that you need to have. You need to have a planned event, you need to have the proper resources, and you need to make sure that people are obviously trained and stuff like that. So it is in the works. And I think that if we put them out on your roadways, at least people will see and maybe slow down a little bit. They can't enforce anything. That's not their job to enforce, but they could report back to us, law enforcement, and let us know. So the presence is always a preventive maintenance. What we want to do is, since we've had these stats for this month, next month, we want to monitor the location and see if a word has gotten out, because I think it has. I don't know if anybody has ever complained to you saying, oh, why is the sheriff's office here? Why are they stopped there? Why are they stopping me? I live here. Well, if you live there, shame on you. If you don't live there, shame on you too, because it's in bright red letters with the big red dots around them. So with that said, we're going to monitor it next month. Hopefully these stats, the stops will decrease, because that's obviously showed that we've done effective policing. And if they don't, we're going to still obviously out there and keep enforcing traffic regulations at that corner. And obviously all of Westlake.
Good job.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions for me?
Thank
Don't
you,
ask me where I get
Sergeant.
my hair
Anybody
products
have
from. I'm not going to answer you.
Good job.
Sorry.
Slow
Yep.
me down.
Any questions? Nope, we're all good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do. Fire. Got a great haircut.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry I missed you last month. So I'm going to give the response time report and call volume for the month of May for the city of Westlake. We had a total of 45 emergency responses to Westlake, and 27 of those were medical calls, and 3 of those were vehicle accidents. The overall dispatch handling time was 39 seconds. Overall turnout time, 49 seconds. Travel time, 4 minutes and 43 seconds for an overall total average response time of 6 minutes and 11 seconds. Any questions on any of the calls or the events in the area?
Anything for chief?
No?
No.
You do have the aerial truck scheduled for the 4th of July Fest. We also have Engine 22, and our reserves will also be here as well. So
Appreciate all you do. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Thanks, chief. Mr. City Attorney, you got anything for us?
Nothing new to report. Thanks for having me. Appreciate
being
it.
here.
Good seeing everyone.
Mr. City Manager, what do you got?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have several things. One thing is I'd like to compliment Captain Sant. Since he's been on board, the communications with PBSO has increased dramatically. We've set up a number of issues where I can get to the sergeants very quickly, get information. We've set up some programs to where we call in dispatch and reach out at the same time, which speeds the responses to various complaints and issues that we have. I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but LPR means license plate reader cameras that we're going to be installing at either end of the city, so we know what license plates come through the city at what time and date. Regarding the funding that we have in with the state level, the last I had received today from our lobbyist is that potentially we may receive the full amount that we asked for. The Senate put it in their piece. It's got to go back to the House. They're going to hash out the difference. It may be the full amount. It may be something less, but at least we're still in the hunt. We haven't been kicked to the floor yet. So that's a good thing. Week before last, I met with the contractor that will be building the new school within Westlake on Persimmon. Their game plan is to have that school open for school year FY27. They plan on getting it started towards the end of this year, first part of next year, and going full bore. The school is the same design as what they just built in Arden, with some improvements to energy efficiencies and some other items like that. There will be an entrance for the buses off of Persimmon. The parental drop-off and pickup loop comes in off of Ilex, and it's already been platted when we did the road originally to have a right turn entrance into that parcel as well. There has already been some discussions with the Seminole Improvement District and the school board on drainage and other things. One of the things that we do have to remember is that basically school boards are exempt for pretty much all local regulations with a few minor exceptions, but we will be looking at their plans, looking at their drainage, et cetera, to make sure it's compliant. Let's see. In regards to a couple items, Mr. Echeverria mentioned posting, et cetera, and trespassing. We have been working on this between the city side and the SID side for probably 3.5 years to figure out how we can enforce without having to post. By state statute, SID would have to post a no trespassing sign at the edge of its property every 600 feet. The only people that would see it would be you, the residents, because it would be in your backyard. Nobody else would see it. So we've been working on some alternatives, working with Captain Sant. There's some potential alternatives that I'll be bringing an ordinance to the city council, making it a city ordinance for nobody that can fish, eat, fish or recreate or whatever on Seminole Improvement property, which should cover that aspect of it. We'll be working with PBSO and their legal and the city legal to make sure we're covered. Simultaneously, yesterday, the Seminole Improvement Board has authorized to look into hiring a PBSO deputy full-time, 40 hours a week to cruise its property for illegal access and other items that are going on this perimeter SID lakes and all the SID lakes. So the SID is going to be working, I'll be working with the captain as well, adding a individual on the SID side of the equation. In addition, we're still working on adding the full-time traffic officer on the city side and also looking at potentially in the budget later in fiscal year 26, another officer, general officer on staff with the department. And also, again, happy Father's Day to everybody. And I'll also plug next Tuesday, right? Yes, next Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock, online, coffee with the manager. I hold it every month. I'm online. I'll answer questions. I kind of explain to those that have participated before what's coming up, what's out there, what's happening. I answer questions as candidly as I can. Some information I don't have or can't be released for the public at that time, but you're willing to join, welcome to join. Look forward to having any of you on.
Strategic planning, 2 days.
Oh, yes. And the strategic planning is on the website. The city council will be doing June 20th and 21st, 9 a.m. all day on Friday and 9 to whenever we finish on Saturday in this location.
When will we get a report from the consultant?
He's wrapping it up now. I expect it in the next week or so.
I meant to do this during my comments. I wanted to touch on Mr. Farber's golf cart concerns. So since that ordinance that you were referring to was passed, the state legislature has preempted, they've created their own laws at the state level that preempted our ordinance. That means, so like in that ordinance, we were requiring insurance, we're requiring $25 registration fees, check them out. So the state preempted all of that. So they basically nullified the ordinance in certain levels. That being said, in the city of Westlake now, any golf cart that is street legal can be registered with the state and get an actual state license plate. And they can drive wherever they want. If I'm not mistaken, does our ordinance still cover the multimodals, or did that get preempted as well?
I believe it's still, I'll double check on it, but I believe it still covers the multimodals.
Yeah, so there's certain aspects of state law that kind of overrode our municipal law. I don't know exactly where the meshes are, but it's probably something we can look into and get back to you.
And as an additional thing, Mr. Farber, the speed limit was not reduced to 30 for the
Correct.
golf carts.
Had nothing to do with golf carts.
It was reduced to 30 for speeding.
And
There
accident.
was an accident.
Speeding
Everybody was,
public
I
safety.
think the speed limit was 35 or 40 and people were doing 60.
Mhm.
So the council at the time said, no, we're cutting it to 30. Nothing's more than 1.5 miles away from anything. There's no reason to be doing 45 or 50 miles an hour. So we put 30, because we had some roads that were 30,
Right.
some were higher. So we just went as a standard 30 throughout the entire city. It makes it easier on everybody to say, hey, I got to do 30. Makes it easier on PBSO to say, hey, everything's 30. Sorry, you're doing 40. You get a ticket.
There was a period of time where on Town Center Parkway, it was 30 and then it jumped to 35 and then it dropped back down to 30. And people were getting tickets in that one little stretch. And we decided to make it 30 all throughout it. But I mean, there was tons of accidents going on. There was a lot. So, but it didn't have anything to do with golf carts. I meant to mention that as well. Let's go ahead and open for public comment. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment. The public comment card should have been completed and returned to the city, but fear not if you didn't. When you are called to speak, please go to the podium and prior to addressing the council, state your name and address for the record. All public comments will be noted and may receive a response if necessary. Any follow-up will be handled by staff at a later time. Madam Clerk.
You have a comment card from Mr. Farber.
Mr. Farber, welcome back.
All right. Ken, thank you for that answer, Mr. Mayor. So let me leave you with this before we leave. And I know I need to speak to you at various meetings. I didn't make it last night. We have some issues. We had a timing issue on Persimmon going eastbound. We had a coming out of Publix. That was a 5-second loop. One car got by and it went yellow. I was able to not call an 800 number. I got directly to the engineer. I had him stretch that to 15 seconds, possibly 18. I haven't checked. He called me when he came out and fixed it, called me the next day when he double checked it. That has been taken care of. We currently have 37 streetlights out. We have 29 of them turning blue again. So we got 60 out in this small city, and there's a ton of them on the west side of Seminole Pratt. So I'm working also with the project manager to get a night run done and fix it because it's a little out of hand. We don't have a system here. We don't have anybody who goes out and checks these things. I've taken it upon myself. I do what I can. I'm hoping to get these things fixed. But I just wanted to let you know that was going. And lastly, sometimes ideas pop in your head with the strategic meeting. I don't know when you'll open it up for public comment, but how about we think about getting a city flag and a city color? We could put that color on the marquees or the trees that are lit, and we could adopt our own Westlake flag also. But I'll give that to Mr. Sugarman. Happy Father's Day. We could all leave now.
Thank you, sir.
See you at the next one.
Any other public comment?
Mayor, you have a public comment from Dr. Tompkins.
Lieutenant Colonel Doctor, step on up.
I don't want to just beat this dead horse, but I was just talking with the chief back there, the captain, about the golf carts. And we brought up that we are going to have them registered now, state registration. So does that mean that the people driving the golf carts have to have a driver's license? And Captain said he does have a program and he's going to come back with you with more on that. But my concern is the underage kids that are riding the golf carts. It is the summertime. They go to 7-Eleven. They go to all kinds of places. We got a new project getting ready to come on. We got a school. So they're going to increase. So I'm not trying to add to his pot, but who's going to try to enforce that? Does that fall on each section, like the crest winds in different areas, or is that Westlake as a whole, or where?
So outside of anything behind the gates, unless there's a traffic agreement signed with PBSO, which is a whole different issue, that's private property. And that includes regular cars speeding as well.
Right.
But outside of the gates, that would be all fall under PBSO. As it stands, if I talked about the state legislation preempting, as it stands, I believe you have to have a driver's license to operate the golf cart. That is the law.
the road.
I know it was included in all our ordinance. I don't think that was part of what the state preempted.
Okay.
But we can get back to you on that.
But
I think it should be. You should need a license.
okay, but the concern here is now is I talked to the great captain there is that everyone needs to know. I mean, how are we getting that out to the populace? We know, but do they know? And that's my concern.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Let's look into exactly what the state law is versus what our ordinance states, and part of what, I guess that's a question for legal.
Yeah.
What our ordinance still holds, and then let's get me the facts, and then we'll put it in the newsletter, we'll put it in the new Westlake magazine, we'll blast it on social media, we'll get it out. Thank you so much for that comment. Any other public comments?
I have no additional comment cards, Mayor.
Well, that being said,
Alicia.
oh, Ms. Torres, please.
One
Sorry.
minute.
Hi, 584, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. I just wanted to get some clarification on the June 20th and 21st strategic meetings. What role specifically residents will play? Is it just to observe, or will we still be able to speak?
I was under the impression it was observing.
There
might be a
is,
section for public
there is my understanding is it's primarily for the council to do the discussions and the kicking around the ideas, et cetera, et cetera. I believe there is a period of public comment, but it's not an interactive type situation. That's what the meeting on the other week was, on Saturday, was to get all the public input at that time. That is being boiled down and being presented on the one-on-ones with the council as well as at the public meeting.
Okay, so if it's all day Friday until you guys are done Saturday, then when would residents, is there a time?
I don't have the exact agenda yet. It'll be posted as soon as I have it. Pardon?
Public comments were on the agenda. It's going to be on Saturday, but given that we don't know the time frame of how long the meeting will be, but it'll be at the end of the meeting.
Okay. And then as far as kicking around of the ideas, is it just the ideas that the community engagement meeting came up with, or is it also ideas that you guys have kind of come up on your own?
It's
Okay.
it's both. The process was that
We all met individually already.
With
right.
Dale, Dr.
with Dale,
Schultz.
one-on-one.
Community, and then I guess we all get together and have.
So that's the report he's compiling, is everyone. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Before I adjourn, do we have any more public comments? The pizza's looking really good back there.
Yeah.
We got, no? Okay. 7:24 PM, we are adjourned. Save me a slice.
Yeah.